He's rapping with it. He's got money all over the seats in it. So I get a phone call on a Sunday morning from Chicago Motor Cars owner, Perrin Shaw. Perrin goes, "Hey Omar, what are you doing?" And I said, "Just hanging out. It's Sunday morning, enjoying my day off." And he's like, "All right, I need you to do me a favor." I'm like, "What is that?" And he's like, "We need to deliver a car to downtown in the next 2 hours." I said, "Okay, why are you calling me?" He goes, "Well, it's for Kanye West." I'm like, "Okay, I'm in." And so he's like, "Well, help me do this. Find what car can we give him so he can give to one of his friends." And I'm like, "What do you mean?" He wants to gift a car. I'm like, "All right, it has to be $200,000, has to be all-wheel drive, has to be automatic, has to be nice and look cool." And I'm like, that's hard. A $200,000 cool car is not just something we had right there in stock. We have tons of cars, but some of them were well over $250,000. We had to stay at $200,000 out the door. So I'm looking around and I'm looking through our inventory on my phone and I see this Bentley Bentayga that just got there. I said, "This is the perfect car. It's all-wheel drive. It's an SUV." I'm thinking it's for Kim Kardashian, right? I'm like, oh, because he didn't really mention who it was for originally. They just kind of said Kanye needs a car, and later we found out it was for someone else. I'm like, all right, I'm going to meet Kim and Kanye. I get a phone call from his manager, this guy named John Monopoly, and he goes, "Hey, do me a favor. I see you got a Ferrari 488 on your website." I'm like, "Okay." He's like, "Bring that too." I'm like, "Are you guys trying to buy 2 cars?" He's like, "No." He's like, we want to show that car to somebody who's here." And I'm like, "All right, I guess I can." So I have somebody with me and they drive the Bentley and I'm driving the 488 and we're driving to downtown Chicago. We pull up into this warehouse looking area and I'm like, okay, what is Kanye doing out here? And I see this big black door that is probably 15 feet tall and there's 10 security guards in front of it. They're like, "This is Kanye's new office." And they had the whole street blocked off. It was just all black Suburbans everywhere. And I was like, okay. And they're kind of questioning why we were there parked. I'm like, all right, I'm here to meet John Monopoly and for Kanye. And so they let us stay right there. And John walks out and they just say, "Leave the Bentley here, take the Ferrari up the road." And he texts me a phone number. He goes, "Text this guy when you get there." So I text the guy, I'm like, "Hey, I'm bringing you a car. I'll be there in a few minutes." I pull up to this like chicken shack and 5 guys walk out and it's Desiigner, the guy who sings "Panda, Panda, Panda." And so Desiigner's this 6'4", 21-year-old kid who's like, "Man," he's like, "I want to drive this car while I'm here." He's like, "Maybe I'll buy one from you. Can you give me some like numbers?" I'm like, "All right." So I'm like, does he really want to buy this car? Does he just want to drive it around for the weekend and show it off? So I'm like showing him how everything works. First thing he wants to do is plug his phone in and listen to his music. So he puts his new song on that he's got with like, at the time it was like a Little Pump or something. It was like their new hot song that got really big. And but I've never heard it before because it wasn't out yet. So he's letting me listen to it and he's, we're sitting in his car listening to the music and he can barely fit in this thing because this is a big guy, and his Ferraris are not really made for 6'4" rappers, right? Or anybody who's that tall. And he's like, just like, "All right, how do I use it?" I'm like, "All right, press that to go and press that to stop, and that's how the radio works." And he's like, "All right, cool." And I'm like, I hand him the keys and, I get out of the car and I'm like jumping in an Uber just to go all the way back to the suburbs. And I'm like, all right, I hope he doesn't crash that car. That night, I look on his Instagram and I start seeing the Ferrari everywhere. He's everywhere in Chicago. He's rapping with it. He's got money all over the seats in it. Bought this Ferrari, this and that. And I was thinking to myself, I'm like, man, it's movie magic right here, right? A car gets delivered. They get to show it off. They don't have to pay for it. And it's kind of a easy way if you're, a celebrity that you want to drive a supercar, just say you want to buy it, drive it for a few days when you're in town, hand it back and fly back to where you live. So I get home and I'm like going through my Instagram. I see all that stuff on Desiigner. So I start looking at Kanye's stuff. I'm like, did Kanye post anything about it? And nothing comes up. Finally, the next morning, I see all over TMZ that Kanye West gifted a car to a guy named cyhitherapper, which is a Chicago rapper, which I guess kind of either used to write for him or just kind of is with him. And something happened, but he gifted him a $200,000 Bentley, and it was all over social media, all over the news. And I was kind of like, oh, that's kind of cool. And they never told us anything. They kind of just said, we need another car. And a couple days later, we got a check in the mail, and everything worked out perfectly fine.
Most of us carry around wallets that look a lot more like suitcases than like a toolkit for what we actually need for our day. The Ridge makes a line of wallets and bags that help you to carry exactly what you need and nothing you don't. So leave the junk at home and go to ridge.com/VINwiki and use the code VINwiki at checkout for a discount. Let them know how much you appreciate their support of the VINwiki channel.